Okay, we're rolling. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Tracey Sophia Thompson, and I am giving Kegel Vision Kenya Kegel permission to use my comments and my visual in his documentary or wherever he sees fit.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thanks.
First question.
Sure.
Tracey, what is a man?
Oh gosh, outside of being having a male anatomy, a man should be, in my opinion, the true spirit of what our families are. I think a man is a person who knows exactly who he is and knows exactly where he's going and exactly what he should be doing. I think he's a gentleman of respect and a man that I feel a man should always be always held in the highest of regards. I think he's a supporter, a provider, a lover, a protector. I think he wears many hats.
So, what is the difference between a male and a man?
Knowing the difference is, I guess, the first thing. I mean, a man has total respect for himself. You know, he's a respectable gentleman. He's a man that holds himself in high regard. A male is someone that's just there and just there.
Okay, could a woman raise a man?
In my personal opinion, I don't think I'm a single mother of a 17-year-old boy, male, and I don't believe I can raise a man. I believe I can raise a gentleman, but I don't think I can raise a man.
What's the difference? What do you mean?
The difference is there's certain things, and also being a woman, it's hard for me to even describe. You know, I know what my visuals should be. I know for me, I consider my father a man. My father was always there. He always listened. He always talked to me. He was a protector, a provider. He lived by example. He was a person of, that, like I said, once again, I think it goes with the respect. And the difference in a gentleman and a man is a gentleman takes those levels of a man and those things of a man to the next level.
Okay, so how do you make up for not being able to raise your male child into a man?
Since I am a single mother, I use the support of the men in my family. Especially I use his grandfather as an example to him at all times. Like, opposed to a perfect example, I have a brother that I consider a male, not as much as a man. And I say to my son, I say to him all the time, a man should always have money in his pocket. A gentleman should always have money in his pocket. And he says, well, you know, Mommy, Uncle Dooney doesn't always have money in his pocket. I said, yeah, but does Grandpa? Have you ever asked Papa for anything? And he said, well, wait a minute, I don't have it. Never. That's the difference. And also, I think that's a part of being prepared, too, and preparing for life and knowing your positions and the roles that you play as a male, as a man, as a gentleman.
So finances play an important role in being a man?
Of course, I think they do. I don't think they're the only thing, but they are a major thing. They are a major thing, because then I also have a saying that in reference to finances and a man is that a rich man can become poor and a poor man can become rich. It's who that man is. It's what he wants to do, and it's what he's trying to do to get where he wants to be.
Okay, Tracey, what about grown men on public assistance that's, you know, been on there 5-10 years and don't seem like they're going to do anything else?
Well, then that's actually a sad situation. I think a lot of things come into play with that. If it's a lack of support, sometimes it's just, like I said, a lot of dynamics. Sometimes depending on how they first got there, knowing each individual story, how they got there. Sometimes the system is set up where it's hard to get out of that cycle for them to move forward on to second things. Sometimes it's also a matter of men just lacking initiative, lacking drive, having a desire, having a dream, having just to get up and go about them. Some men can become complacent and be comfortable, and you know, that's just enough for them. And that's, once again, a difference in a male and a man.
What advice would you give to young men, say like your son, 17, turning into manhood, what advice would you give them to look forward to or to hear?
Well, I've always raised my son being a single mother. One of my biggest things was that I never wanted my son to be a mama's boy. And that was one of my biggest things. I think I find that, especially in single homes without the father, is that they get that kind of complacency because we women are naturally providers and givers and caregivers and, caretakers. So for him, this is something I've been teaching him all his life. He's a man. He got to go out in this world, stand on his own 2 feet. And lessons that I just teach him, on a daily basis, his education. And just his education is majorly important. I try to keep him well-rounded by having him in organized sports. I have him in a mentorship program, which is Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America. And I'm just kind of keeping him well-rounded and giving him a balance. As much as I let him play organized sports and after-school basketball and football, I also made him play chess in the after-school program as well. Just trying to give him the balance in life.
Tracey, do you have an example of say someone who is a man actually showing you why they are such a great man, a situation that came up, something happened, and how they responded to it?
Well, I guess I can use like some of the references of the men in my life. For example, I can use my own personal family. My dad grew up without his father. He grew up in the South. He grew up, of course, being born in 45. He was right at the era in life of the 60s and the 70s and the Jim Crow and segregation and all of that. So his concept in life and things that he was exposed to helped shape him as the man as that he is today, of having to provide for himself and taking a chance, grasping the opportunities that were being presented and fighting for something that weren't even presented. But then with him having his own voice, he was able to give them all the things that his father did. And I think in giving them that kind of made them lackadaisy. I mean, when my brothers came out of high school, they never even went on job interviews until they were well in their 20s, because my father had a business, had a company. So they didn't have to go through that. But once that was dissolved, they were kind of lost because that safety net wasn't there.
Excellent. Listen, thank you very much.
You're welcome.